So, I'm not sat at the desk today. I'm going to be taking you guys with me to go to the cinema because I'm going to be going to see Night Swim today. The film came out on Friday. It's currently Sunday when I'm going to see it. I've seen the thumbnails and titles for some people's reviews, and it seems like it's not getting great reviews at the minute, so I wanted to go see it, judge it for myself. So this is basically going to be me going to the cinema, watching the film, and you kind of get my first thoughts on it without having to be too much of like a well thought out review. Alright, so I'm back from the cinema now. I've watched the film, obviously, and Blumhouse messed up again. I was really hoping that this was going to be a different, fun horror film. You know, it is January. I'm not expecting it to be the next Halloween or something like that. I'm just saying I expected a little bit more from Blumhouse. But to be honest, as time goes on, as more projects come out, I think my level of hype for just Blumhouse horrors is just sinking. You know, I thought James Wan, Blumhouse, Atomic Monster. I thought this film would at least have like something that I walked away from thinking, oh yeah, you should probably just watch that because of this. But it really is just same but different. It just feels like a rinse and repeat of what we've been previously getting. When I first watched the trailer to this, I was actually very excited for it. I thought this was going to be like a fun horror movie. You know, the idea of like a haunted swimming pool, something like that. I just thought this could be a horror film that's quite fun. What I will say they did well of, but it just wasn't enough, was like the scenes with the pool in terms of like the tension that it can create, you know, when people are trying to get back up from the pool. Like, I think that fear of like drowning is a continuous thing throughout the film, and I think in that sense it was quite freaky at times in its own way. I think earlier on in the film they were kind of getting it, and the little shots we got as each different family member was in the pool and they saw these like entities, these ghosts. I think the ones that were very humane looking, it was creepy. You know, a lot of it is just cheap out of nowhere jump scares, but at the same time, the kind of good side of it was that I felt like what we were actually seeing, the like ghosts and stuff like that early on, I feel like they were actually quite, you know, actually scary looking. And if you did see that, you'd think, shit. But then I don't know if it's like the main, like, ghost monster, whatever it is, but this blobby thing, this cartoon Scooby-Doo looking monster, it's just like, if you are a horror fan, you're never going to be scared of that, or, you know, like, even remotely entertained by it. I think if you've never seen a horror film before and you like, obviously just scared easily, I get how you may gravitate towards that because it's not going to mess you up kind of film. But also, like, the jump scares can be a bit fun, I guess, if, you know, you're a, like, new horror fan or, like, never really watch horrors. But yeah, someone that really likes horrors, and every time I go and watch a new horror film, even films where my hopes aren't that high, there's still part of me that just hopes, could this be, like, a new age classic that we're about to watch? Is there going to be something about this film that is going to change the next decade of horror films? But it just feels like at the minute, to be a horror fan as new films are coming out, aside from maybe the 1%, we're just getting thrown shit for the other 99% and just expected to be like, do you know what, it's fine, Blumhouse have made this is great. When in reality, it's getting tiring, pointless to go to the cinema and watch these films. Like, if I didn't have like the pass that I basically pay monthly and I can go see whatever film whenever, if I didn't have that and I just spent the money on that ticket, I'd be pretty pissed off now, to be honest. There was just nothing to it. There was no substance. It was just like, let's take this standard thing that some people have, a swimming pool, and let's just make it haunted. Let's just make it haunted and then just see what we come up with. There's no meaning. I'm not even asking for like a deep meaning, but just like something. But yeah, I don't really want to get into like the plot and things like that, just in case you haven't seen it already. And yeah, there's just a lot to go through. This is just basically my first thoughts out of the cinema. And yeah, it's not a great way to start the year. Obviously, it's not like just because this one's bad, everything's going to be bad in 2024. That's not what I'm saying. But yeah, just in terms for like Blumhouse especially, I just think like, I can't take many more of these terrible, just gimmick horrors that are 90% like every other one that's been released. So yeah, it's unfortunate that this is my, like, feelings towards this film. I definitely won't be watching it again, that's for certain. And I think, you know, if you don't maybe benefit from going to the cinema and watching this film, like, if you're not like a content creator or something like that, where, you know, you might be able to gain something from watching it, I honestly suggest just waiting for it to come out on like streaming services, DVD, whatever it is, and I think you just watch it then, because you're really not missing out on much. But on the flip side, if you've got somebody in your family that's maybe not a horror fan but fancies like a bit of a scary film, just wants a bit of fun, whatever, then I guess go for it. You know, it's got all the cheap jump scares that gets people, you know, stuff like that. And I think, you know, if you're ever going to find this film remotely scary, it's going to be watching it in like a big theatre screen with, you know, the loud music, surround sound, all of that stuff. So yeah, that was my thoughts on Night Swim. Let me know down in the comments below if you've seen it and your honest opinion of it. If you did like it and you're watching this video now, tell me why you liked it, because I'm not saying it was a completely terrible film, like full stop. This is just my opinion. So if you did enjoy it, let me know for what reason, and I'll see you guys in the next one.